Good morning. Thanks very much for joining us here on WION World is One News. I'm Molly Gambhir. First, to our top focus in this edition. June 14th will be remembered as a black day in the state of Jammu and Kashmir in India. A veteran journalist, Shujaat Bukhari, is murdered. 2 of his security guards are killed. Bullets sprayed mercilessly on them. On the same day, an Indian army soldier named Aurangzeb is picked up. Hours later, his dead body is found barely 10 kilometers from where he was abducted. That's 4 deaths in a matter of hours. A journalist is dead, his 2 security guards are killed, and Indian army soldier is dead as well. Cowardly violence gripping Jammu and Kashmir. That Pakistan trains and arms terrorists, it misguides Kashmiri youth is not something we are talking about today. What we are asking is, what is the PDP-BJP government doing? The government had taken a tough stand against terrorists, and then recently we got to know there was a ceasefire in the month of Ramazan. Did the ceasefire backfire? Is the government taking steps between love and tough love? WION spoke to some intelligence veterans and we will bring to you the analysis. But first, let's take a listen in to what the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mehbooba Mufti, had to say. She is seen trying hard to hold back her tears.
ये तो शॉकिंग है, इससे ज़्यादा क्या कह सकती हूँ मैं। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही मुझे मिलने के लिए आया था ये तो शॉकिंग है, इससे ज़्यादा क्या कह सकती हूँ मैं। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही मुझे मिलने के लिए आया था ये तो शॉकिंग है, इससे ज़्यादा क्या कह सकती हूँ मैं। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही मुझे मिलने के लिए आया था
Let's go straight across now to WION's political editor, Kartikeya Sharma, who's joining us for more on this. The question that we are asking at this hour, Kartikeya, is what is the state government in Jammu and Kashmir doing? What do we make of the security in the state when 2 security guards are killed, a senior journalist is killed, and an army officer is killed all in the same few hours?
See, there are 5 things here, but I'll go point by point. The first is, when we talk about killing of army officers and Jawan, this is a new development. And this can only happen when you have sentiments hardening in the rural areas. How come these Jawans are being tracked? How come when a young lieutenant was murdered, he was abducted from his home? Which means that these terrorists have been able to consolidate their support base in rural areas. When I talk about rural areas, I'm primarily talking about Bandipora, Avantipura, and South and Central Kashmir. Now, South and Central Kashmir are the areas where PDP is strong, which means that the PDP's political constituency has melted away and reformed itself or reformulated itself into a new support structure for hardened anti-India elements. That is the first part of it. The second part of it is the killing of Shujaat Bukhari. Now, the issue is the killing has taken place in the heart of Srinagar, in Lal Chowk, which means it is back to the militancy days of 1980s, one, and secondly, terrorism is back in full form. But what it does is, and what it tells us is that it is not the terrorism of 1980s and 90s. This time around, you don't have terrorists coming out of madrasas. These are boys who have come out of the private schools who impart education in English. So this is a crowd which is getting self-radicalized over Facebook and WhatsApp, and not under some guidance of Imam under a madrasa. So, you have a different form of radicalization. Fourth is that somehow there is trust deficit with the Chief Minister. Chief Minister is supposed to be the political vector, the gravitas of the state. And it's a failure on part of the Mehbooba Mufti not to actually reach out to the other political elements, because there's a national discourse which is hyper-nationalistic. And fifth is that ceasefire. Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 2001, and I was going through certain papers, the ceasefire when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was Prime Minister in 2001 also failed to work, because terrorists they were not interested in talking to the political dispensation. The question is that why was the ceasefire announced, and why is the government taking so much of time when terrorists are not interested in talking to the government. It not only pushes the government on a weak spot, but it also gives a message to those neutral people that somehow the terrorists have an upper hand on the government. So I think that somehow the PDP-BJP government will have to be responsible for this serious law and order issue in South and Central Kashmir, Molly. And they have to, we all know Pakistan trains terrorists. We all know they finance terrorists. We all know that Pakistan wants Kashmir to bleed by 1,000 cuts. But then, can Pakistan do that in Bihar? Can Pakistan do that in Rajasthan? There is a sentiment which needs to be engaged and acknowledged, and that's where Mehbooba Mufti has failed.
And let me just take a cue from what you're saying. What do we make of the statement that the Chief Minister herself has issued, Kartike? The rather emotional appeal that she's made.
You know, Chief Minister in personal capacity has all the right to be emotional. But if Chief Minister sees that if nothing can be controlled through her office, then it sends a signal that somehow Chief Minister herself is not in control of the situation. It is not about a person and people, you know, every death counts, every death counts. Issue is, where did they attack? They attacked a journalist in the heart of Srinagar. You know, this is the high tourist season. What is the message which is being given out? That anyone can come to Srinagar, but if terrorists want to strike you, then they will strike you. I'll give you another example. There was a lot of campaign post demonetization that, you know, the stone pelters, their accounts, they will be tackled. What has happened? Has stone pelting ended? Issue is that there has to be an acknowledgement that there will be a political engagement, and political engagement, sober national discourse. It will not be accompanied by a caustic discourse which gives this dog whistle message that, you know, if you don't talk, we'll hit you so hard that we'll straighten you up. That will not work in Kashmir. And I think that's the reason why Vajpayee is the most fondly remembered politician by an average Kashmiri.
All right, we're going to leave it there for the moment. Thanks very much, Kartike Sharma, getting us the latest perspectives on that story that we are tracking for you coming in from Jammu and Kashmir.